Faffy McFaff face. Well, you join us on another splendid day in the UK. I mean, summertime this year has just been immense. I honestly can't remember a June, July like it. I mean, records don't lie, do they? Anyway, I'm not Michael Fish, I am Jason Statham, and today I'm taking our new noble steed, the 2018 GSX-R1000R, to its first service up in Milton Keynes at Suzuki GB. And we've had it box fresh, 0 miles on the clock, so we've had some fun running it in. I've got to say, I've jumped off a bike, the 390, which is obviously my everyday bike. Oh, that little pop there, I love that. From first to second, if you get it right. Yeah, so if you you're going from a bike that could barely rip your banjo off to a bike that just a whiff of throttle will have you eating porridge and getting rogered in the botty. It's taken a bit of getting used to. Although I'm not complaining, because what a road bike. What a bike. There's no denying that since the K5's K6, Suzuki went all nicey and lost a bit of edge, a bit of je ne sais quoi. And but this has got it all back. The noise, the dynamics. I mean, even with that horrendous exhaust, it still sounds like it's one of the best sounding inline 4 bikes that there is. Obviously Euro 4 is far more complicated than we'll ever imagine, but getting the exhaust tone right and still making it sound decent, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's no justification for that abomination at the back, but the engine is incredible. I mean, you can leave it in 6th gear now, you can go 20 miles an hour, you can go 120 kilometers an hour, and it'll still, the usability and the parameters are just incredible. You know, it's got such a wide spread of power. You know, that VVT, variable valve timing, I mean, to any unsuspecting person who isn't in the know, it could sound broken. I mean, it sounds a bit tappety, if you know what I mean. And then when in the mid-range, it sounds metallic, and I mean, it does sound a little bit broken now and again, but it obviously works. You know, we're on 410 miles now. I've got a 150 mile ride to Milton Keynes, so I've been taking it fairly easy. But went out for a ride with my mate, the Angry Farmer, again on his Fireblade, and what I honestly can't think of a more composed and more direct A-road monster. It is so inspiring. It makes you do naughty things. Any complaint? I mean, there's nothing really to complain about. In A mode is a little bit jerky still, from going from closed to open. Although I don't know whether this is something to do with the ECU recall, but it's definitely, I mean, of all the bikes that I rode last year, the 2017 bike, this is much nicer. It's far less jerky. It's more predictable, but it's still a little bit. I mean, I think that's obviously down to ride by it's down to Euro 4 and having to run it so lean down there. But other than that, I mean, I've done a fair few sort of 100-mile-an-hour jaunts, and the vibes through the bars get a little bit aggro, should we say. Oh god, I bloody hate this junction. And something is weird, I've just filled up and it says that the tank have already lost 1 dibble, but I don't know, I think that must be a computer error, because I've never actually managed to fill it right up for the gauge to say full, even though I've slammed 16 litres in there. But yeah, as a road bike, you'd really struggle to find a better all-rounder. I mean, I know that people love the BMW, and it's probably just as good. But that edge, that little nugget of extra oomph, sound, noise, attitude, I think the Suzuki's got it, definitely. And you remember the track fun we had last year? We did have a few issues with the brakes, and bizarrely, I mean, obviously Suzuki knew there was a problem, and they've upgraded the brakes. But this is the complex bit. Because it's not a new bike, and because they haven't launched it as a new bike, they don't declare it. So I found out through various means that there was new brake discs, I believe. I think it's just brake discs. And obviously this bike has had the upgraded ECU, flash, whatever you want to call it. So I've had no double blips. I mean, we had no massive issues with it last year, but there was we had a few little jumping from second to first was difficult in the hairpins, and it wasn't as seamless. And I will say that in fact the electronics, when you're flat out, it works incredibly. The shifter, the blipper, the throttle. But when you're doing this sort of slow speed drudgery and urban stuff, it's definitely not as smooth as some of its rivals. So yeah, this is a long timer. This is what we'll be riding for the next months, year maybe, whenever Mr. Suzuki wants it back. So if you've got any questions, let us know. I don't need to tell you what our first mod will be. There's that confidence in the front end where you just use it as a pivot and put it anywhere you want. Adjust the line with the throttle, brakes. I mean, it is just so confidence inspiring. I mean, I've got it set, the traction set on 5 because I do like the way the anti-wheelie kicks in and reminds you not to be a naughty little boy. And I also love the sound. I mean, the electronics as a whole, forget the sort of rudimentary workings when it's in slow speed stuff. The traction control, the anti-wheelie is right up there with the best, I think. I even enjoy, in a kind of sadistic sense, the way that the bars go a little bit light under hard acceleration, and you go, oh, have we got a slapper here? What time's the slapper coming? Is it now? Here we go. Welcome to Milton Keynes. And for those of you who don't live in England, Milton Keynes is like, it's like Monaco but inland. It's the English equivalent of Monaco, but just inland and a few more roundabouts. And I will check back once she's at the service. And here lieth the problem with a white bike. I love it in white. I really wanted the white one. Chris wanted the blue one for some reason, the MotoGP blue, but I think it looks gorgeous in white. Not sure, well, Chris ain't sure on the anodised blue bits, but I think it looks bloody lush. I think it looks really nice. So yes, at the front we've got new discs. And there's a new piston, I believe, we're not too sure because it's quite, the details are quite scant, shall we say, but there's a new disc, definitely, I think they're thicker, and the caliper has a new piston in it to avoid the brake fade. So we haven't tried it on track yet, but they seem to be perfect on the road. I'm also gonna, while we're here, I mean, front to back, so let's say at the front we've got the Shower BFF forks, and in my opinion they're as good as any Öhlins fork that I've tried at the moment. They're so plush, a bit soft for track, I think they need a bit of work, but perfect for road. Bump management superb. We've got the Casio Tone Bank 1980s watch dash. Not overly keen on it, but it serves a purpose, and all the details you need are there. It's easy to read, easy to use, quite intuitive. Very few buttons to press, so while we're talking electronics, obviously it's got a 6-axis IMU which powers the 10-stage traction control. You can't turn the ABS off, which is a bit of a shame for track stuff. Motor-wise, claimed 199 horsepower. The whole thing weighs 200 kilograms. As I said, it's the variable valve timing is a thing of beauty. It allows power right at the bottom. It's quite a rudimentary, quite a crude system that apparently they use in MotoGP as well, which is 12 ball bearings that move in and out and allow the power, or allow the power at the bottom, mid-range and top end, in other words. Obviously there's all new chassis, and the thing there. Gearing's really short, actually, really short, which is nice. You know, usually the first thing you do, or the first thing a lot of people want to do when you get a sports bike like this, is shorten the gearing, because just to liven up acceleration. But you certainly don't need this on that. This on that, that on this. That is going.